Namaste Bharat, I am Umesh Kumar Jha and you are watching India Live. And I have brought for you some new big news of country. So stay with me till the end of the video and see full report. First news is about gas leak incidents from industries. 11 people including 3 children died after inhaling a poisonous gas that leaked from a yet known source in a thickly populated Gaspura locality with several industrial and residential buildings in Punjab's Ludhiana on Sunday. At least 4 of the injured are in critical condition. Most of the victims were daily wage migrant workers. Punjab CM Bhagwant Mann said the incident was very painful, adding that all possible help was being provided. The fire department officials said they received the call at around 7:15 am about the gas leak incident and sudden deaths. They rushed to the spot to find people having unconscious on the roadside. A 50-member team of the National Disaster Response Force (NDRF) was also present on site. The officials said they were yet to identify the leaked gas and its source was not immediately ascertained. However, Ludhiana Deputy Commissioner Surbhi Malik said it was likely that some chemical reacted with methane in manholes. At least 10 major gas leak incidents have been reported in the past 1 year. During this period, gas leak incidents were reported from Haryana's Jhajjar, Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam, Annakapalli and Vijayawada, West Bengal's Kamalgaji and Kakdweep, Madhya Pradesh, Balaghat, Odisha's Balasore, Telangana's Hyderabad and UP's Aligarh. Before this, India reported 1,109 deaths and more than 4,000 injuries in registered factories each year between 2017 and 2020. According to an India Spent report, this means 3 deaths a day. India has seen the worst industrial gas leak incident in Bhopal in 1984, with 1,000 dying in the Union Carbide plant disaster. Next news is about political faces in face-off with wrestlers. WFI President Brij Bhushan Saran Singh warned India's top wrestlers have accused of sexual harassment, claimed on Sunday that the ongoing protest at Delhi's Jantar Mantar by athletes was being driven by some politicians. If they will go back and sleep peacefully after my resignation, I am ready to resign, he said. He says all these players have become toys of the Congress and other opposition parties. Their motive is political, not my resignation. The entire world knows that all these women are from the Mahadev Wrestling Academy and Dipender Singh Hooda is the patron of that akhada. For not siding with the protesting wrestler, he said, I want to thank the leader of Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav. Akhilesh knows the truth. He added, if there are 10,000 wrestlers in UP, out of them 8,000 are from the Yadav committee and they belong to the Samajwadi family and hence know the truth. Singh says it is their right to protest, but can a player associated with the railway seat on a protest like this where objectionable slogans are being raised against Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath? On Saturday, the protesting wrestlers had warned against using their platform for political gains, claiming few people were trying to take their fight for justice to a different direction. Politicians such as Congress, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and Bhupender Singh Hooda, Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal, his minister Atishi Singh and Saurabh Bharadwaj, RLD's Jayant Chaudhary and former J&K Governor Satyapal Malik have visited Jantar Mantar to extend their support to the athletes. Wrestlers including Vinesh Fogart, Sakshi Malik and Bajrang Punia have been protesting since April 23, demanding criminal action against Singh for alleged sexual harassment and intimidation of 7 wrestlers including a minor. A FIR has also been filed against Singh, who is a BJP MP. Next news is about why is Manipur facing tribal unrest. An 8-hour shutdown called by a local group, Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forums ITLF, paralyzed normal life in the Kuki-dominated Churachandpur district on Friday. The Bryat was called to the protest against the alleged eviction of Kulki villagers from protected forest by the N. Bir Singh government. Clashes broke out between demonstrators and police personnel in Chura Chandpur town on Friday night, with the security forces using batons, tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse the mob. The Chief Minister, who was scheduled to address a public meeting at New Lamka in the Southern Manipur district, deferred the visiting following the protests. On Thursday, a mob had attacked the venue where the CM was supposed to attend an event that set fire to about 100 chairs and other equipments. Night curfew 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. and prohibitory orders under section 144 of CRPC stay imposed and mobile internet service suspended in the district until further orders. Sunday, however, showed signs of normalcy returning to Chura Chandpur. Shops and markets opened in the morning. The additional forces sent from other districts were withdrawn on Saturday evening following a meeting between the government and representatives of civil society organizations and student bodies. On March 10, tribal and organized what they call a peaceful protest against the state government in 3 districts that were also allegedly backed by Kuki militants. However, the peaceful protest turned violent and 5 people were injured. The protests were organized against the state government's crackdown on encroachment of forest land. In the wake of March 10 violence, the BJP-led Manipur government pulled out of the Tirupati talks the suspension of operation signed with 3 Kulki militants outfits, even though the center is yet to give its approval to the state government decision. It was alleged that these groups had investigated villagers to protest against the state government's eviction drive in forest areas as well as its crackdown on legal Popu cultivation. Next news about what drives PM Modi's Man Ki Baat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed his 100th monthly radio broadcast Man Ki Baat on Sunday. The first episode of broadcast was aired on October 3, 2014. The special episode went global to it was telecast at the United Nations headquarters in New York and carried a message from UNESCO DG Audrey Azoulay. A Rs 100 coin is being minted and a special postage stamp will mark the journey. Now I tell you the number and stats about it. First, about reach. More than 500 broadcast centers of all over India radio telecast the program every month, which runs in 22 Indian languages, 29 dialects and 11 foreign languages. Second, about money spent. While the latest figures are not available, the government had in 2015 disclosed that it has spent Rs 8.5 crore in promoting the first 10 episodes. That's Rs 85 lakh for each. Third, about money made. The radio address has helped all India radio make about Rs 31 crore in the first 7 financial year. Through last year, the number dropped 90% from the peak in 2017-18. Through the monthly address have been about a wide variety of topics like cleanliness, khadi, tackling exam stress, population, pollution and drug menace, politics, thus splits in the times thoroughly indirectly. So, when the opposition was going after the government over the land acquisition bill, farmers became the theme of one of the broadcasts. When the government was on the back foot on debt-related issues, the PM spoke about B.R. Ambedkar's legacy. When ex-servicemen were getting restless over one rank, one pencil issue, they became the topic in one of the broadcasts. Next news is about the colonial era sedition law. The Supreme Court is scheduled to hear 16 petitions today, including one filed by the Editors Guild challenging the validity of the colonial era sedition law. The petitions contend that the sedition law has a chilling effect on free speech and constitute an unreasonable restrictions on freedom of expression. The center is expected to apprise SC Supreme Court of the steps taken so far with regards to reviewing the continuous penal provisions. In May 2022, the center had told Supreme Court that there was a need to re-examine the judgment and oppose scrapping of the sedition provision from the new law book. Supreme Court had also put on hold the sedition law and the consensual registration of FIRs. The offence of sedition, which was included in section 124A of the Indian Penal Code (PIPC) in 1890, has been under intense public scrutiny for its use as a tool against expression of dissent, including on social media. Governments across the world have used sedition to probe political disagreement, evoking voices damaging its repeal. In India, 22 cases were filed against journalists related to the coverage of the Hathras gang rape incident. Several dozen cases were filed against protesters during anti-CAA protests. In one instance, 3 Kashmiri students were booed from sedition in Agra for celebrating Pakistan's victory over India's in T20 match. NCRB data shows 356 sedition cases were registered and 548 people arrested between 2015 and 2020, but only 12 accused involved in 7 cases were convicted in these 6 years. India and Pakistan inherited the same set of laws at Paterson from the UK, which repealed the sedition law decades ago. In April, Pakistan's Lahore High Court struck down the 153-year-old sedition law. Now, some people are suggesting that if Pakistan can scrap sedition law, so can India. That's all for now. We will meet you again with more news. Thank you for being with us till the end and keep watching India Live to stay connected with every news of the country. Thank you.